tonight, and there'll probably be some others that will venture in as well. We have some principals, staff members, parents, community members. How many of you have attended one of our town halls? Oh, you know this already then. So hopefully, as we move forward with this process, and as I talked in the last one, this is the process where we really get into deep dive into the master facilities planning. And so to do that, we have hired an architecture firm to come in and to help us with this process. They'll tell you tonight all the different things that they've done for all the water districts that you know of, currently working with, and this is really a deep dive into our district, our buildings, our facilities, our configuration, and then what our next steps are going to be as a district. And it's something that we have to plan for many years down the road. Because if we were to decide to build something today, it wouldn't be ready for another 3 years. And so we have to make plans on how to get those 3 years. And again, we have aging buildings, we're running out of space, and our enrollment is steadily increasing. So when you have those three things going on, it makes it kind of difficult to plan. And so we've tried as an administrative team and as a board to look to the future, but we know that we're going to have to make some big decisions as a community on what we want to do. We know that not every address gets the same opportunities. We know that. And as you go through the building facility tours that we have one a month, right before our board meeting, and we take a tour of the building. And when you go through those tours, you can start to see the challenges that some buildings have that other buildings do not. You look at the spaces that are available, the flexibility of spaces that are available. And so those are the things that in buildings such as Clough, and Kevin's here tonight, our principal's here as well, has been very instrumental on trying to establish spaces that weren't there before to accommodate the needs of the staff and for the students. And so those are the things that we look at. So I'm going to turn this over. I get to talk again, I think. And so Charlie from SHP is going to be here. He's going to run us through this process. And I will be back to fill us in on a few things as we go.
All righty, thank you. And I'll take the clicker.
There you go.
The official clicker.
I don't like to give it up.
It's all backwards now. All right, so thank you, Mr. Gebhardt. My name is Charlie Janigan. I'm an architect with the company SHP. You can look it up at shp.com and you can see all the work we've done. We are working ironically with a lot of folks in the ECC, the division in your high school you compete against. So Kings, Walnut Hills, Lebanon are some familiar districts that we've worked with. Sycamore Community Schools, we've done a lot of work with them over the past few years. Milford, we're doing some stuff with them. So you guys have seen our buildings, and one of the roles I get to do is lead master plan. So today, this is the kickoff of our official CAT team. CAT, or Community Advisory, everything's got to have acronyms. So again, you guys have all been invited. You've expressed interest in helping us. And as folks who either live here or work here, we need you to help roll your sleeves up and really try to figure out the future and truly help us develop a master plan. And as an architect, I'm standing here today really not knowing what it is. And you guys are going to help that. Actually, tonight we're going to get it rolling. So an ultimate master plan could be a couple new facilities. It could be renovation facilities. It could be do nothing. And so we will be looking at it through a variety of lenses of cost, of need and demand and growth and a lot of factors. So our job is to provide you with a bunch of info as much as we can, ask questions, challenge it, and then ultimately if we go through the process by fall, we will kind of have hopefully some consensus. Is it going to be 100%? Everyone says, yes, this is great. Well, probably not. We're looking for 60, 70, 80% of folks that on there and say, yes, this is the right decision. Does that make sense? Okay. So you did the quickie, name, relationship to district, favorite school memory. We're not going to do that because you guys already did that. All right. I will invite my co-host back up. So we will be sharing kind of the state of the district. There you go.
All right, so one of the things that in our webpage that you can take a look at is our facilities. And we have a webpage dedicated to the facilities and all the things that we're doing, artifacts, all the things that we have. Gone through the town halls, the CAT process, the CAC, more acronyms, but also gives you some information as we go through this. It also has a lot of the information that we have tonight on our buildings and our one-pagers as well. And so now we're going back to Charlie with some master planning. We're gonna keep you guys awake.
All right, so master planning, when we do this with other public clients, we really look at three things. Trying to find a solution that's educationally strong, it's for the students K through 12, financially responsible. We've got to look at what is the cost. And like I said, there could be new, there could be reno, there could be status quo. We don't know. And then something that's fully developed and supported by the community. That's why you guys are constituents. A little more about SHP. We were founded in 1901. We've been around for 123 years. We've designed about $3 billion worth of work. So we have a lot of clients, about 125 people full time. So this is a service we're providing to probably about 10 different clients right now as this master planning exercise all throughout kind of the region and actually in a couple other states. We worked closely with the district to come up with this calendar, and I'm not going to flip slides because there's a lot to take on here. So there's kind of 5 activities that are going to occur, and some of them have been going on already. You can see in purple, the bottom here, the Citizens Advisory Commission is what you guys refer to internally as the CAC. And this group is tasked with looking at purpose and design kind of throughout the school year. They will be coming and helping share some of their outputs to this group, so we'll see some of their products. You can see that it's obviously been going on since August, and they're thinking about modern learning environments. Number 2, right here in blue, is what we are, the community advisory team. Again, kind of a diverse group of stakeholders. You guys aren't all high school parents. You guys are not all elementary parents. We've got everybody kind of K through 12. Some folks don't have kids in the schools anymore. There's a couple governmental folks and even staff who might not have kids here, but they might work here. Again, you guys will help inform that. On the top side, you can see there's been ongoing school building tours, and so those tours are really helpful just to see what do we have, how are things looking. Maybe you're in a building and you only really visit one building once a month, and this gives the community opportunities to see kind of behind the scenes in some of the facilities you might just drive by. The town halls, I've attended 2 of them. Maybe you guys have already raised your hand, and those were good forums to really kind of lay the baseline of what is the community thinking. We're going to see some of those results from some of the things that occurred there. And then finally, targeted stakeholder outreach in green. These will be some other things when we work here. We might go and test it. So we might work with some special ed parents. We might go work with sports boosters. We might go work with performing arts folks. We might go work with 7th grade teachers. So we might do some targeted approach just to get some more internal feedbacks based off what we discuss. So all of this is work. All of this is gathering data, and all of this is kind of formulating where we can go to the Board of Education with a plan in the fall. So you heard me mention that October 24. It feels like a long way away, but we're going to blink our eyes and it's going to be here in a minute. So we've got it tentatively where this would get a CAT representation. Maybe a couple parents from here would present a lot of this, the findings and the journey to the Board of Education. And then the board may take action on some of the recommendations in the fall. So does this make sense? Okay. All right. So a couple more rules with the community advisory team. You'll hear us call the CAT team, or the invites for the emails might say West Clermont CAT. Again, a group to meet to understand, synthesize, and advise on a facility master plan, thinking about education, facilities, finance, and community support, those kind of icons. Again, a diverse group, I think we've hammered that home. And again, you folks are invited, dedicated, and we really want to be consistent. We know the invite came out last week. We would hope the next meeting might have double the size. So the roster we have is large, so we appreciate you being here tonight. So again, our first meetings tonight, we're kind of in the information stage, so you're going to see a lot of info. We've got actually 48 slides, so we're going to throw a lot at you. And we're going to be doing 2 exercises. We're going to then take that data, we're going to kind of massage it, and then we're going to get back together and kind of narrow it down, continue that through meeting 3, and then ultimately in the fall, according to the calendar, get to some type of consensus recommendation. So we might do surveying as digital, we might do surveying on paper, we might ultimately go to market and do some open forums. We might do some text surveying, so we use a lot of methodologies to gain feedback, and we'll bring that all to you guys. So, make sense? All right. So this is some more baseline information. I'll be back.
So this is all of our buildings, as you can see, and on the webpage you'll see these as well. So there's one-pagers for all those. We're going to go through those as well. But this is our district. These are the schools that we have currently in West Clermont, and also includes our preschool. Preschool, I'm just going to mention real quick because preschool is a major factor for us. As we continue to add numbers in our preschool, that limits our space in some of our buildings. Right now we have preschool at Holly Hill and Willowville, and so we have to make decisions on early childhood education and spaces for them as well. And I think that's something that's got to be, is part of the things we talk about a lot as our board and cabinet, talk about where we're going to put more preschool classrooms as the increased enrollment comes in with that. So that's something that is a consideration that you guys will be talking about as well. So this slide kind of tells you where we're at. And the only thing I want to talk about this, you went to town hall and most of you have seen this, and we're trying to make this as easy to understand as possible as far as capacity. Before we're just looking at numbers, and it's very difficult because some of our capacity numbers, and we may say they're over capacity because it doesn't take into account the specialized programs that we have in those buildings. So when we have a specialized program, you may only have 8 students in a classroom. So you can't take the formula of having 25 per classroom. And so when you look at some of the specialized programs we have in buildings, we have to be very creative because that takes space. Takes space for offices, mental health services, special ed services that we have in each of the buildings. So we try to give you an idea of where we're at as far as capacity in our buildings and what our considerations are as we move forward. So these are what we're at currently. And so one of the things I'll mention is Merwin. It says overcapacity. Now, it's not overcapacity per se before we add the modulars. Once we add the modulars, it gave us more space, so we're under capacity. But when you go from a master planning phase, we've already taken one step towards having a problem with space at Merwin. So we still consider that overcapacity because we've already taken that step of adding modulars there. Then we look at the other ones, and one of the things that you look at WT and Willowville, and even Clough, because this was recently renovated in 2020, all of those are overcapacity now because a lot of the programs, preschool, a lot of the things that we have in those buildings were overcapacity. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we're at as a district and why we have to make the decisions on what we're going to do as we move forward with increasing numbers, aging buildings, and we're just running out of room. This kind of breaks it down a little bit more. I'm not going to get on that. Obviously, if you see red, it's not good. We don't have to dwell on that, but that kind of just gives you the numbers as it relates to what we have. The growth in our special education, diverse learner needs is continually increasing. We continually need space for that. And then obviously we want to, when we look at design and purpose of a building, We want to offer the best educational opportunities for our students, create a collaboration space, flexibility for our teachers. And so those are things that we're looking at as we look to the future. This is currently where we're at. Obviously, this is why we're here. We do have buildings going on. The most green space in the district is out of Holly Hill. We expect that to explode eventually down the road. Now, is it going to happen today, tomorrow, or next month? Probably not. But that is a space that we have to look at and we have to plan for, because you could have a big builder come in there anytime, a Ryan Homes or a Fisher or something, and put in 500-600 homes in a heartbeat. And so we have to be prepared for that as we move to the future. So we do have all these little polygons. Those are new construction, either permitted or have already started. So those are things we have to look at as well. We want people to come here. We want to be a destination district. We want people to move into the district. But when that happens, you got to have a place for them. And so it's a good problem to have, unless you have aging buildings and running out of space. But we do want people to come to West Clermont. We do believe that because of the strides that we've made academically and with student achievement, people are going to want to be here. We do want to be a destination. And so that moves on, and Jeff is going to come in from SHP, and he's going to take it from here.
Thank you, Randy.
You bet.
Hey, everybody, thanks for coming tonight. We appreciate it. I know there's probably any number of things you'd rather be doing right now, so we appreciate your time tonight. We're going to walk you through the buildings, and again, hold your hand up if you came to the community town halls. All right, so we're going to blow through this really quick because you've seen all this before. But just as kind of a level setting exercise, this is the high school, built in 2017. It sits on 85 acres. Student capacity is 2,500. And let me get the clicker worked on here. And we're pushing that right now, okay? So just an update on the high school. This is the campus, that 85 acres. You can kind of see it. Really nice, well done campus. West Clermont Middle School, built in 1961. That's older than me, which is not, I guess, not a good thing or a bad thing, but anyhow. Student capacity is 2,200, and right now we're a little under there, 102 acres on the campus, okay? Much of it is wooded. A lot of it is wooded. All right, Willowville. Built in 2019, 83,000 feet, 675 student capacity, and right now we're over that. It sits on 14 acres of real estate on Schoolhouse Road. Withamsville, Tabasco, built in 2010, 67,000 square feet, 575 student capacity, in which we were over. And it sits on nearly 10 acres of land. Okay? Charlie, you want me to keep? I'll just keep rolling. Summerside, 2019, again, 675. It's under capacity, thankfully. 27-acre campus. It's kind of neat to see them from this aerial view. You don't oftentimes see it that way. Merwin, 1966, 50,000 feet, over capacity. And I will kind of add on to that discussion about capacity. When we talk about capacity with regard to schools, there are two different discussions. The first one is from a life safety kind of building code capacity. Is it safe to be in? And all of your buildings are well within that building code capacity, right? So there's not a life safety issue there. It's more about how the buildings function as a school, and that's what Randy was getting at earlier. So there's just a little more clarity on that. Sits on 10 acres, long, narrow site. Holly Hill, built in 1982, capacity of 425, and we're near that today. Sits on 40 acres, again, a lot of it is wooded. Oftentimes when you see parcels that are highly wooded, I don't know what the specifics are of these, but oftentimes they're wooded for a reason. Typically there's a lot of topography, maybe there's water, so there are oftentimes reasons that it's not developed. But don't hold me to it on this one, I really can't speak to the details. Clough Pike is where we are today, 1968, 600 students, and we're currently over that. Sits on a nice 12-acre campus. Amelia, built in 2010, 725 student capacity, which we're near today. Sits on 16 acres, a little bit of a dog lane here. All right, so with that, we're going to get you guys talking to each other. Charlie's going to help us with this one. So while he's coming up, everyone grab a stack of Post-its.
Okay, so this is our first exercise of 2 tonight. And it starts, we call it a community values exercise. We are handing out pens too, because it's hard to write on these little Post-it notes and pick that marker. So what we want you guys to do individually is, when you think about the relationship between our schools and the community, these things should be most important. So when you think about the relationship between our schools and the community, these things should be most important. We're going to ask you to write those down, and then we'll give you about 5 minutes or 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. And then we're going to have you guys talk amongst yourselves to kind of aggregate these. I don't want to pre-fill these in for you, but I can give you ideas if you need me to help. Just one comment per Post-it. You could make 5 Post-its if you want. Yeah. There you go. And then we're going to get each table to kind of aggregate their comments. So if you want to write 10 things that you think are valuable things about West Clermont schools, feel free to write down 10.
Charlie, there's a question. Yeah, which is a good question.
She didn't mean to cause trouble, but she did. So when we say community, we don't mean just the school community, right? It's the neighbors who you live next door to, who haven't had kids in school for 40 years, right? It's everybody. So you think broadly about it, what's going to be important to everyone, all right?
We'll go for like 2 more minutes and then we'll flip to the next slide. Okay, so I've got 2 lovely assistants, Mr. Lafada and Mr. Forsoffel. They will be distributing big posted sheets. We want you guys to talk amongst yourselves real quick and try to aggregate it to a top 5. So we'll do this for like 10 minutes. So share your ideas, and then ultimately we want you guys to do a top 5. And then we'll do a report out so we can hear what all the tables are saying. All right? So 6:30, we'll give you 10 minutes.
So, no worries. Being able to attract and great.
But the ability for the building to last.
Well, and I kind of that don't live on our board here, and they are 100%. We were talking about feeling stations Health, safety, I have inclusion. I had many ideas.
Renovation of the current
Exactly, how we use it for activity. How do you go with that? Because
I had a safety.
no, I think relationships with families. I think that goes through years. But it's like a year I was.
Top five.
Okay.
You guys have to see how my ranking is.
Yeah, we put it all together.
Other things that
Yeah, don't give teachers pens. More than just. There you go.
All right, so what's our number one? So I think we might make sure that we have resources and people that
We have about 3 minutes, so if you want to start jotting your top 5 down.
so libraries or schools.
I mean, that's
Kids can go to the library. So I kind of like put on my own.
I would say too.
Volunteer. That's a good idea.
I have not been in here since I did itinerant speech. Just the concept. Speech, yes. Yes, I know, it's not hilarious.
All right, you got 1 more minute to document your top 5. And we're gonna hang them up on the wall where the kitchen is. We've already got one up there. Write your table number, please. Can you write table 3? Can you write table 2? Thank you. You guys are good. Can you guys write table 1? Thank you. All right.
Growing programming outside of the school.
It's very
That was the nice.
thorough, colorful. We'll call it your bonus. All right. 10 more seconds. You guys done? All right. We've got 3 hanging, we need 3 more. Okay. All right, table 2 and table 4. Time's up. Okay. That's fine. They did 6, so don't worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. All right, we're gonna go in reverse order. My table 6 right here, there are overachievers. So we need a spokesperson. Right here, that's you. Come over here. All right, share with the group your name and explain 1 through 5. So we're going to be looking here, and then we'll move along.
First off, explain why you need tape. Yeah.
I was in the bathroom when they needed tape. That was not me. I'm not owning that. I don't know what that was. Probably because we did something in reverse, backwards. All right. That's just the way we roll at table 6. First, we talked about being connected partnership with the community so that the schools and the community are all one in connection, not just, that's where Danielle's question came up, not just the parents, but the entire community. We mentioned safety, which I think we talked about not only safety within the building, but that our students are safe when they're outside in the community and things like that. We want to have good communication with the community as well, so the school and the buildings are communicating with the staff, the people, all that communication. We'd like to see where we had shared values because we were discussing the facilities of, do we have a K-2 building? Does that part of our values, or is having a neighborhood school part of our values? Was putting all the kids in one middle school part of our values, that kind of area? And then that the community sees that the schools are mutually beneficial to both groups.
Okay, and what's your first name? Barb, thank you. Good job. Everybody give Barbara. Jeff calls that a golf clap. All right, table 5, I need a spokesperson. All right, here you go. You don't need a mic? Well, guess what? This is getting streamed, so we do want you to be on it so we can hear you.
Tammy Marcotte. Right. Our top 5, we said safety, community usage, and awareness of the usage. So we said we would like to see the communities using our buildings more maybe. Flexible learning spaces across the whole area. Handicap accessible. So we were talking about how there's not always handicap accessible things within our buildings. And then innovative and student-centered. So we want it to be like top-notch, but we also want it to revolve around the students.
Question, we got a question. Jeff, yell that.
Yeah, the, number 3 is flexible learning spaces. What does that mean? What do you
The question is, what does flexible learning spaces mean?
Flexible learning spaces would be like we could use certain areas within the school for different reasons. Everything's not the same. For instance, if desks could move easily, we could have an open area. If we need to have an open meeting area, put desks together, things like that.
All right, thank you. All right, golf clap. Team table 4, right here. We need a spokesperson. Get right here. Hot mic. Share your name.
I gotta remember, I gotta pull a Tampsy, I'm loud. All right, so Katie Texera, we talked about safety too, like safety within our schools and outside of the schools as well. Community engagement also, like we feel like the district has done a good job already taking those steps and having like Health Source and the Healthplex and everything else, but how much more engagement like through the community can we have and bringing people into our buildings? Student opportunity and educational performance. So having the students be able to have the same opportunities across the whole district and making sure that the educational performance is just as good. So, and then fiscal responsibility, making sure that we are using our dollars wisely.
Okay, we're starting to see some things. Thank you. Let's go to table 1. And I think you're down here. So we need a spokesperson. And they decided to do 6. So here you go. Introduce yourself.
My name is Trista. So the first thing we said was financial transparency and responsibility so that people know where the money is being spent and what it's being spent on. And we also had some thoughts about like taxes and knowing how all of that's broken down, just sharing that with the community. Supportive of the student and staff future, so providing career opportunities for students and internships and opportunities for them to hear from careers outside of the school, but also providing staff with those same opportunities. Equitable across the buildings, which we've heard a lot. That includes the experiences, the curriculum, and just the school environment. Safety for the students, the staff, visitors in the buildings. And then the last 2 were pride, people, the community and everyone involved in the school is just showing pride for what is offered and what we have going for us because we've already come a long way. And then our final one was just ensuring that the buildings all have a good infrastructure.
Explain infrastructure, like expand upon it. Oh, there we go.
So easy access, like on their roads, good, like centrally located in the neighborhoods, busing and transportation options throughout all of the buildings, and then varied levels of learning to like include students with disabilities, maybe our gifted students, typical students.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, table number 1. Table number 2, come on up. Need a rep. Rock, paper, scissors. Not it. Oh boy. Everyone should know you.
Hi, I'm Tracy. So we talked about safety and hit that one pretty hard. Talked about the community access to the facilities. Talked about student-centered facilities that support various needs of learners. Using the schools to grow the community. We kept talking about this notion that communities should build strong schools that then in turn build strong citizens, that then in turn, it just goes on and on and on. And people will be drawn to our schools if we have programs that are outside of the school day, athletics, clubs, STEAM, and career programming.
All All right, very good. Thank you very much. All right, last but not least, table number 3. You're going to bring it on home. Clough. All right.
All right, my name's Tracy. We talked a lot about the same things that other people did. We really talked about investing in the future, just making sure the community and the schools are working together. We also said maybe the school can be more than a school to get other people invested in terms of like retired community members that don't have kids there anymore and still want to take an interest. Facilities for all, we kind of called that in terms of accessibility, being inclusive, and then we put safety also in there. And then just really work well. We talked about retaining quality educators, not just teachers, but all the staff members to get them there. And then just really being one team. A lot of us just said, even like making sure the students are supported, make sure we're working together, make sure all voices are being heard.
Awesome, thank you. So you just saw 30 values, things between the district, the schools, and the community. We are going to aggregate them in our next meeting. We are going to have you kind of prioritize. So you could start to see themes as far as transparency, communication, safety, and maybe some of the other ones we're gonna get the group to rate as a whole. So thank you for that initial step. We're more than halfway through the night, so we got a couple more things where the district is going to share enrollment, and then we will be doing exercise number 2, and then we will be on our way. So here you go.
All right, I mentioned it before, and we won't, I go the wrong way. Like I said before, the 3 things that we look at is, one of those is increased enrollment. The increased enrollment in our district, as you'll see, is about 500 students projected. Now, that's projected. So you try to factor in some new builds, you start to factor in all the things that affect us, people leaving the district, coming back, or going to educational options outside the district and then decide to come back. Some of those are hard to predict. The other things that are specialized programs are also very hard to predict over the next 5 years. And again, those will limit space. The preschool again will increase, and those that are identified, we have to take. And so those are the things that's really impacting us as far as our preschool numbers. So those are things that we also have in there as well. The other thing is it's very sporadic. It's not like it's all growing over in Willowville, or it's all growing in WT or Clough. It's sporadic. And so that also makes it very difficult in planning because it always feels like you're band-aiding. Okay, we got students going here, or we're waiting to see where the inter-district students are going to go. And it's really, really hard to predict where the space is going to be. So when you look at the enrollment, you look at the numbers going up, and you look at the limited spaces that we already identified before in the buildings we have, that makes it very, very difficult. Then throw on top of that, we have 3 of the buildings we know identified in our town halls that need some help. And that would be Holly Hill, Merwin, and the middle school campus. And so those all, you're going to see those as a feedback from our town halls as a priority and something we need to take care of quickly. We know that those particular areas running out of space. Holly Hill's an older building, but it also houses 6 of our preschools. So you see the impact that the preschools have on the building because it takes away those classroom spaces for other students that would come in. So that kind of gives you a little bit on as far as the enrollment. Again, same things we saw before, and then the focus on town halls. Yeah.
You said Holly Hill,
Middle school. Yeah, those are our oldest buildings. We're kind of in that kind of situation where we have newer buildings. They're not new, they're newer buildings with our a couple of our elementaries, the additions here at Clough, and then with the high school. So we have those that we have, but then those other 3 buildings that we know the operational costs, putting new roofs on, the concrete, the asphalt, HVAC, all the things that can happen are happening in those buildings. Just this year, we've already had some issues at the middle school with our HVAC, and over the auditorium where we had to replace that. Water heater, you think, hey, water heater at home's not that bad. At Willowville, it was $16,000. That's in a new building. So can you imagine what we've got in some of our older buildings as well? Question?
So when you had the preschool up and said it was gonna grow by 25, but a preschool classroom is considerably smaller than a typical. So when you say 25 growth, that could be throughout.
Correct.
You're talking about a preschool growth.
Preschool, you cannot have 25 in a
Right,
classroom.
and I think, and it's like usually half typical and half not, so.
So it's about 16 total, right, Josh? Maximum 6, so you would have 8 identified and 8 regular.
Right, so you're talking about growing like whole rooms with that, as
Yeah.
opposed to being dispersed.
In the preschool is half day, so you take that times 2, and so that kind of gives you your numbers as well. But with the number that are increasing, the number of students identified obviously is increasing, and so we have to find space for them as well. And so I think a big decision when you guys start talking about preschool, early childhood education, somebody mentioned that. You know, do you want it in close proximity to where you live? Or do you want it in some of the bigger school districts? If you look at Mason or some of the other, Olentangy, some of the other ones, they have like a PK2 building that's centrally located that may be further away from where you live, but it's one facility. And those are all decisions and things that you guys are going to talk about. And I'm getting way ahead of myself because I get excited about it because we want to get in that configuration and say, oh, this is what we want for our kids. But those are the things that we need to talk about. And preschool is something that we talk about daily, and as far as our early childhood. And so those are things that we have to look into. All right, good, Jeff. I keep talking. They want to go home tonight. I got it.
You're good. Thank you, Randy. All right, good stuff. So, y'all were at one of the 2 forums that we had really great turnouts at those, so nice job. But as you remember, we did an exercise that kind of looked like this. And you guys were organized around your buildings, right? And you would kind of rank, where do we feel like our building falls? And the district kind of created this scale of, from the left, current or status quo. That means kind of keep things how they are. Targeted improvements in the orange. We need to renovate the current or renovate to new. So renovate to new is like, kind of like what happened here at Clough, right? So that's a really big deal. The light green is modulars, and then we talk about building additions, and then building new buildings, and then other is a little more specialized, okay? So you can see Willowville is kind of a special child there. But this is where these results that we collected at those first 2 town halls, kind of where they landed. And you can see Amelia kind of ran the gamut across the middle there. Do we renovate some of it or do we build new additions? Summerside and the high school, they were sitting pretty steady, either maintaining it or just kind of targeted improvements. The middle school, Merwin and Holly Hill, there was a lot of traction toward replacement of those buildings. Clough Pike and Withamsville, Tabasco had additions. So that's kind of the outcome of that exercise. Does that make sense? Anything surprising for anybody there?
The Willow one, why that says other, because they pulled the preschool out, is what they talked about, and they said, what other things would we want to do? Well, if we found somewhere else to do the preschool, then they're kind of in that other. So it's kind of changing what they've got and opening those classrooms if we took the preschool out. So that's why they put it under.
Perfect. All right. So let's keep rolling. So on your tables, there's a packet that says activity number 2. Someone grab that packet, tear the front off of it. All right. So, not everyone gets one of these. You're going to do that as a group. But if you look back here up in front, this is kind of how we like to think about the district, how the district is organized. The gray vertical bars are the grade levels. So we've got preschool all the way through 12th grade. And then the blue boxes are the buildings, our school buildings, right? Does that make sense? All right, so you can see how Willowville and Holly Hill, they've both got preschool in there. The rest of the elementaries are K to 5. We've got 6, 7, 8 at the middle, and of course 9, 12 at the high school. All right? So what we want you to do, you can kind of see we've kind of ghosted in on your sheets the current organization. Does everyone see that? So what we want you to do is kind of roll up your sleeves and put on your thinking caps and come up with a solution, or maybe a few solutions that you think we should look into, okay? This is not relevant to you guys, right? This is just us showing you kind of what we're looking for. So if you want to take a building offline, maybe you don't use it, you just dash it in. If you want to change the use of a building, tell us that. If you want to build additions to a building, tell us that. And you're probably going to come up with a few ideas, right? So once you get done, we're going to challenge you to pick your favorite of what you've come up with. If you need more sheets, let us know. We have more available for you. But that's kind of what our hope is tonight. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what we're asking for? All right, I have one request, no ballpoint pens, okay? We need big fat markers so we can see this, okay? All right, go for it, guys. Let's go. We'll start with 15. We'll see 15 minutes. We'll see how it goes.
Our table kind of represented preschool. If you have buildings, then it makes sense to renovate what it is currently and build an addition somewhere and kind of split up meaning one building will have 5th and 6th graders. That would alleviate some of the rather than elementary schools. Take the 5th graders somewhere else. Yeah, 5th and 6th graders in one building, 7th graders in another. And then, obviously, that'll help maybe some people are considering crowding, maybe put it there, at some other locations. I know that I mean, rebuild it, great, but is it, I think,
They like the neighborhood ones for the youngest.
Similar conversations.
Well, I don't think it's having any issue. And the more you sit down and
it makes sense.
That's what I mean, in all the years long. Yeah, just bringing up to. Yeah, and no, there will not.
That is the main.
Either or, maybe, or one, the third one. We were trying to figure out if we can do that, the preschool. But I like either one. The one that had the classes. Okay, thank you.
Keep it up.
Until I can get back to that. I don't see how the preschool program. I mean, even when you say 5, 7, 8, 9, yeah. At least there's I think okay, or like probably the listing of stuff.
Because it's gonna be cold.
Well, that's it.
I mean, I can't see about it. At least Evan never did.
Yeah, mine also.
That's where I was oh, I'm right. Evan was allowed. Evan did have to buy. Oh, but he was special ed preschool.
I don't remember why. I don't think it was said.
Iterations, you guys are right.
No, the one with Matt, different element.
Oh, that's wrong. That's all right. You can just show each slide there individually. Oh, I heard that. Well, and that's what it's like. Was it up there? Perfect.
So that's their spaces, they're looking at the spaces right now.
And then our kindergarten.
Yeah, like
I don't have grade levels.
I don't think they do that again. It wouldn't be full easier. Because it's not going to happen. It wasn't happening before.
Because one of those close, and it gives you different.
Or no, we just added.
gonna use one for the spokesperson.
Check, check. Okay, we're better now.
Because the fifth grade is the group that we had during when we went to 5 but we had 27.
Just for the first year that we're in that.
And so now they're the
This is not going to happen.
Hey, don't just process it maybe the districting, like
Hey everyone, we're gonna go for about 5 more minutes, and we will want you to rate your number one concept. So we might get 6, we might get 12 if you guys rate 2. We're looking for your top concept. 5 more minutes.
He doesn't like that. My son's social, all his teammates on the sports teams, we don't see them.
Star your favorite one. Star the favorite one. Table number 3 is going to be presenting first. Sure. All right, we have about 1 more minute. You should have one with a star, number 1, and then maybe a second place. Jeff, I'll get you. All right, planners, you guys feeling good? All right. Are we ready? I think we need to be ready. You take it down a little bit? How's that? Test. Thank you. All right. So, does everyone start their favorite or their only? Okay. So, we're going to stand up and present our favorites, but it has to be presented by someone different. Okay? Different from the first time. Not like different from a personality perspective. Okay.
All right, so let's start with, I'm not sure what table number this is, but right over here. Table 4. Stand up, hold up your,
You can't present.
you need, we need
No,
something
different than last time.
All right, let's hear it.
And don't like microphones, here we go. All right, so our top idea was that we would have partner schools. So we would have like an early childhood building from pre-K to second grade. We would partner like buildings that are close together. We would partner like maybe Holly Hill and Amelia because our campuses are very close. So maybe Holly Hill would be the pre-K to 2 building and Amelia would be 3 through 6. To break up the middle school a little bit. The rest of the buildings we kind of were unsure about as far as which ones would be the partners since there are 7 elementaries and that would not be an even number. But that would give us some wiggle room as far as adjusting numbers so that the buildings were not over capacity. We did say that we would build new Holly Hill and Berwyn. The middle school we would build new and it would house the 7th and 8th graders and the high school would stay as is.
All right. Any questions for group 4? Nice work. Group
That's
4.
outside the box. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's out of the box. All right, let's go to table number 1. Come on up. I'll be Van. You be, I think you're.
Hi, I'm Heidi, and so this is our idea to have 2 buildings allocated for preschool with the option of having high school preschool for those interested in education track there. We've split K through 4 into 4 of the elementary schools, Holly Hill, Amelia, Summerside, and Willowville. And then with additions to the middle school, we would split into 5, 6, 7, 8 for middle school, junior high, and then keep the current high school campus but splitting into A and B track options based on your educational goals.
So talk to me a little more about the A and B track. Can you unpack that a little further?
Sure.
I'm kind of slow, so help me.
I guess it's infancy of an idea that based on what your career goals, community goals, what you want to do, what you're good at, you would be kind of divided into activities and classes that mirror those goals, and that would allow you to kind of separate students into where they're going to go, and if you need additions for particular things, it would be based on activity rather than about student capacity.
Gotcha. Okay, very good. Golf clap for table 1. All right. Who's behind me? Who's behind me? Let's do table 6. How about you guys? Someone new, a new presenter. Table 6. You present.
I think you're up. I'll trade you.
All right, so this is the one we landed on to share. So we kept the 7 elementary buildings, like as the community schools that they are, but we pulled preschool into each building. So that those students can kind of start from the beginning, becoming a part of their community school. But we also pulled 5th grade out of the elementary buildings. And on that campus, would like to see 2 separate like facilities, one that would be 5 to 6, one that would be 7 and 8. And then the high school can be the high school.
So you're thinking with the middle school, with all that acreage, to kind of expand that and create a separate 5-6 building, right?
Yes, so divide out 5, 6 in a building, 7 and 8 in a building, so kind of like an intermediate and then like a junior high.
All right, good job. Golf clap for table 6. How about table 3?
Okay, so our runner-up plan was almost exactly what Danielle did.
It wasn't exactly.
It was that.
Did they copy?
Oh, I'm sorry, our
our runner-up plan was identical to what Danielle just explained. But our top plan has a new middle school, high school as is. Middle school would still be 6 through 8, 9 through 12. We felt pretty strongly about We Are West Clermont. We combined a few years ago. Band, sports start at that 7th grade, 6th grade level, and they continue to high school. We've got to keep those teams together, think of the conference for athletics and this kind of things. Anything else about those buildings? Okay, and then we did pull preschool out in the new build. That means preschool would be removed from Willowville and Holly Hill. We had Merwin as a new build, and we had Holly Hills in the no. I'm sorry, I left you guys. I don't make any decisions here. Anything else? Nope. Okay, that's all right.
All right, good job. Let's go on to table 2. Is it you?
Sure.
Very good.
Outstanding.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, hello. Okay, high school, just targeted updates, no changes there. Middle school, new build, 5th and 6th building, 7th and 8th building. One of the reasons we did that looking from an infrastructure standpoint by bringing the 5th in, the overcrowding or whatever at WT, which is a newer school, you wouldn't likely not have to build, so you save there. Willowville, same thing, you take that 5th grade out, you avoid having to add or have capacity there because you took 5th out. Summerside already has room, and you could possibly add preschool there by taking 5th grade out. Clough Pike, which is a remod with taking 5th grade out, you don't have that capacity you need to add on with 5th grade out. Amelia, with a 2010 build, you don't have that capacity by taking 5th grade out, so you may not have to add on there. So we were looking at what do you do to not have to affect every school. And then Merwin replace, and then Holly Hill replace. But one of the things we said is if there's an issue with pre-K, it's already got pre-K. If you're going to rebuild, you can capacitize that school and make the pre-K bigger than there to take your overrun. So you're already going to rebuild it anyway. So that way, we were trying to minimize the shuffling and building. You know, trying to get the best for our bang for our buck. So.
Good job. Great job. All right. Last, it's right here.
We don't have a plan B. We have the plan. And I'm not going to make this about me, but I have worked at 5 of the 9 schools.
So wait. I'm going to need you to stand up there with your
Sir. Okay, so high school, similar deal, targeted improvements. Not that it's hunky-dory, but it's fine. Junior high, obviously we'll need some renos for 7, 8. 5, 6 building, probably brand new or repurpose a portion of what's there and add on to what's there. Like we need to get creative about what that looks like. And really I think this makes sense too because the secondary sports start 7th grade. So you would have like a 7, 8 and you have the athletic facilities there already for that. So it makes sense to build 5, 6 new on that land. We did a similar blend of ideas where we have, I'm not sick, I'm just losing my voice, sorry. So, brand new Holly Hill, duh. Brand new Merwin, also duh. So, with that, and then we kind of have pseudo neighborhood early childhood centers. Think about this, first floor only, like no 2-story buildings for preschool, K1, short legs, makes sense. Merwin, Holly Hill, and Clough would all be preschool, kindergarten, and first. We would have 2 districts. District maps, one for pre through first, and then a slightly tweaked version for 2, 3, 4. So they're still kind of neighborhood schools. Like you would never have a first grader leaving Holly Hill, go for the 2nd grade year and go to like Summerside. That's too far, right? And then we would have 4 of the 4 remaining buildings, Amelia, Summerside, Willowville, WD. Once again, you've created lots of space by getting 5th grade out. You've created additional space at Willowville by pulling preschool out. And for the 2 big new builds at Holly Hill and Merwin, you can be really specific on what classrooms look like for the little tiny kids. So yeah, I think that's it.
So
Yes.
there are 3 buildings that are pre-K1, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then there are 4 buildings that would be 3, 4, 5.
No, 2 through 4.
2, 3, 4, thank you.
Yes.
Is that similar to what table 4 had? Yeah.
Close, very close, yes. They looked over our shoulder. Yeah.
We had partners that were people on each other and
Okay.
Have a concern with little kids of those long bus rides.
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay, very good.
Yeah,
All
that's all
right.
the details. It's
Excellent.
D plan, right? I'm kidding.
Nice job, great job. All right, I think that about wraps us up for tonight.
Yeah. So you guys have been an energetic crew. We can see the dialogue increase, and we thank you so much for your ideas. What we're going to do is we're going to graphically depict all of these. So we had the one with the blue bars. We're going to be able to look at them, and we'll start to name them the plan. We'll come back and we'll have these in a little more organized manner where we can kind of look at the pros and cons. And that's probably what we'll do next time. So get your calendar out. March 27th at 6 p.m. we will be at Marwin. It's our next time. Please bring a phone if you don't have, or a device to take surveys, because we will be asking you for instant feedback based off all the work we did today. So this is an additive process. Share this with your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors that you were doing this, and bring other ideas. That's the point of this. You guys are all representation of the community, and we need this to come back to us. So, and then the last one before we go for summer will be May 2nd at Holly Hill. So there we go. Holly Hill, the Raiders, or what is it? Huskies. Okay. All right. Good. The Holly HHH. I love it. So we'll stick around if there's any questions. We're going to document all this, but we really appreciate your time and energy. And thanks for spending your Tuesday evening with us. See you.